Hey, welcome to part 2 of this video. So this is all about distortions, how to dial in and how to use distortions, and how to not dial in and how to not use distortions, in my opinion, of course. So hard-clipped distortion pedals, pedals with lots of sizzle, lots of gain, and hard clipping kind of sound. Generally, I will not use a pedal like that ever combined with a dirty amplifier. If an amplifier has got a fair amount of distortion happening, or even if it's set crunchy, I don't like the sound of a distortion pedal running into that to add more gain. I will generally always use an overdrive, more of a pedal with kind of a soft clipping circuit to boost an already gainy amp over the top. So that's kind of number one. I just think distortion pedals generally sound better when run into a clean amplifier. So that's kind of number one. Now I've got two great distortion pedals here. The Atomic Overdrive from XTS Custom Pedals is one of them here. Now it's called an overdrive. I think of it as more of a distortion pedal, even though it kind of works like an overdrive as well. It's a very, very versatile pedal. Terrific sounding pedal, really highly regarded. I did a demo with it a number of years ago, and I loved the way that it sounded. And I thought I was able to get relatively close on channel 1 of my PT100 amplifier using this pedal for distortion, relatively close to the sound of channel 2 of my PT100 amplifier, the crunchy channel. So I thought I'd pull it out again here and just give it a go and see how close I could dial it in, once again, to sound like channel 2 of my PT100. The other pedal I have here is the Plexitone from Carl Martin. Now this is a pedal I had a hand in actually voicing. They were sending me some prototypes for this small format version of the Plexitone, and I was sort of making suggestions and stuff. And so needless to say, I think it's a really, really great sounding pedal. Both of these are terrific sounding pedals. Now having said that, I feel like they do a certain thing really well, and used in a certain application they're just terrific, but they do a different thing. Okay, so I'm gonna show you what I mean here in just a second here. So here's channel 1 of my PT100 amplifier, and it's clean right now, of course. Okay, there's that sound. Here's channel 2. Okay, love that tone, great tone. Now I'm always trying to get a distortion pedal to sound like that. And I think probably most people out there want their distortion pedal to achieve the sound of a great overdriven amplifier. That's kind of the goal with distortion pedals. You know, unless you're going for kind of a weird, unique kind of tone, something quirky, generally we just want it to sound like a broken up amp of some sort, right? So with the Atomic Overdrive, I'm going to show you what I think it does best. This is channel 1 of the PT100, and right now I have the bright switch on the PT100. Really great sound. Here's PT100 channel 2 one more time, and you can hear the difference. Back to channel 1 with the Atomic Overdrive. Okay, a little AC/DC for you there, just for fun. It's not exactly the same sound, but it's really a similar sound, you know, totally in the same wheelhouse as one another. So the Atomic Overdrive sounds just terrific for that tone. Now it's got a 3-band EQ that's highly versatile. I dialed it in at the setting, and I swear it's about the same setting I had it at 5 or 6 years ago when I did a video demo of this pedal. And it just sounds terrific to me right there. Now, if I take the bright switch on the amp off, okay, maybe I want a slightly warmer clean sound or something like that. So now the bright switch is off. Okay, there's the pedal run into the amp like that. I'm going to go to channel 2 on my amp. Okay, so that's my baseline kind of tone I'm trying to achieve. So now the pedal sounds much darker, right? I'm going to roll the treble control way, way up, maybe 3/4 of the way up. Let's listen. I'm going to turn it up even a little bit more. Here's the channel 2 on my amp. And once again the pedal into channel 1. Sounds pretty good. It's not as cool as the other sound to me though. I really prefer the pedal with the bright switch on the amp on, and with the treble control down right about halfway. It really does a magic thing and sounds a lot like the Channel 2 on my amp. So what's my point? Well, I think this pedal's a really, really terrific pedal into an amp with the bright switch on, which a lot of people like to use, you know, like Fender's, like Deluxe Reverb's got a bright cap on it. Keep that in mind. It's kind of like a permanently wired bright switch on the volume pot of the amplifier. So that'd be a great pedal into a Deluxe Reverb. Or, you know, if generally your amp's got a bright switch and you like to run it on because you like a nice sparkly clean, this is going to be a terrific choice for an overdrive. Still sounds really good with the bright switch off and the treble up. It's just not quite as cool to me. Okay, so it's like this pedal's got a great purpose. Now, I'm not knocking the pedal at all, because what you're going to find is that most distortions have, I don't want to say quirks, but they've got a certain personality that's going to work into some amplifiers better than others. Just how it is. You guys know that from trying a bunch of different pedals. So it's really good to be aware of that when you're getting into getting certain pedals and make sure they're going to work with your setup. And what I'm doing right now is one of my favorite things to do, as far as you know, like having a baseline tone that I'm really familiar with and sounds good, like having the Channel 2 on my amp dialed up. Had the distortion pedal on too. So having my ear tuned to that and knowing that that's a sound, and then being able to try the pedal out into Channel 1, it's a really cool way to kind of compare distortions and overdrives and dial them in, and then kind of, you know, mark the settings. You know, if you can somehow compare it with a great distorted amp, maybe you've got an A/B switch and you've got an amp that you love, like you know, it could be a Marshall amplifier, whatever it is, a Soldano, something that's like a great distorted amplifier, certainly a Sir PT100. If you can compare it to a core kind of dirty amp tone, and that's how you kind of can dial in your drive pedals into a clean amp, it's really helpful, I find. So if that makes sense, I hope that makes sense. Okay, so that's the Atomic Overdrive. Once again, I'll just show you one more time with the bright switch on how cool it sounds on Channel 1. And here's the Channel 2 on the amp. Sure enough, I think it's like really close. I think it's a very close approximation of that sound. So terrific in that application. Now, the Plexitone is, to me, the exact opposite. When I turn on the Plexitone, I'm going to actually go to turn the bright switch off on the amp now. This is Channel 2 on the amp again. Okay, now I'm going to go to Channel 1 on the amp, and I'm going to turn on the Plexitone at a setting that I dialed up. That's your Channel 2. And Channel 1 with the Plexitone. Okay, that's another great tone. Complete opposite though. I was able to achieve that tone now with the bright switch on the amp off. Plexitone's got a real sizzly top end, nice sizzly top end that sounds a lot like a real Plexi, because real Plexis sizzle, that's for sure. And it's got a great big full bottom end. Something about having the bright switch on the amp off with this pedal just works. Now I'm going to turn the bright switch on the amp. Okay, and let's hear the pedal with the current setting. Well, it's gnarly, right? So it's got that, like I said, a sizzly top end. So that's not going to work. So now we got to dial the tone control back. I'm going to bring it back down a little bit below halfway. Okay, that's better. Let's hear Channel 2 on my amp. And now with the Plexitone on Channel 1. So that's with the tone control dialed down to about 11 o'clock. Sounds pretty good, but it's kind of, I feel like the Atomic Overdrive was in the opposite way. The pedal just sounds better when you have the tone control opened up past noon to about 2 o'clock, and when you're running into kind of a neutral, clean sound. And that's just how it works best for me. So you know, where are we at? Well, I think that basically certain pedals work well into different amplifiers, and you know, that's no surprise, but it's great to be able to kind of, in summary, I think, have a core kind of distorted amp tone that is your reference tone, you know, and then if you can somehow compare distortion pedals through whatever kind of clean amp you're going to be using and dial them in and see how close you can get to that tone. It's really an interesting experiment for me to see how close I can get to, you know, my PT100 channel 2 with all these different pedals and how they work differently into with the amplifier set differently. Bright switch in, bright switch off, tone control set different. You know, it's all like a recipe, and you combine all the ingredients together, and whatever comes out at the end, it's always really interesting to me what you can end up with. Anyway, once again, both terrific pedals. Plexitone from Carl Martin, the Atomic Overdrive from XTS. Just slightly different sounding pedals that do a different thing really well. That's it. Alright, thanks for watching my video on distortions and overdrives, how to dial them in and how to not dial them in. I hope you got something out of it, and I'm going to make some more of these videos, kind of tone secrets, off-the-cuff videos where I'm just kind of speaking my mind and dialing things in. They're kind of fun to do, and hopefully you guys like them, so I'll do more of them real soon. Okay, take care. I'm Pete Thorn, over and out.